And then you had Mattis say, I need a few little drones like this. Did you lose your zeal? I see, I don't know if it was a rendering or what. But I said, why don't you make some little drones and go over to the Middle East and stop ISIS? And they stopped them in a few days. I wrote up The Art of War. I wrote up like 5 pages on Facebook, and they said this was gold. I never got credit for it. I went on there and studied. I studied a bunch of different things, and I wrote up certain things of combat, of what you should do for psychology whenever you're fighting somebody. And I wrote it up, and I explained it pretty plain and simple, and I never got credit for any of this stuff. Trying to tell me I'm not military personnel, just trying to discredit me in everything that I'm saying. When a person's quick to point and say something like, oh, you're mental, or you're this or that, or he's crazy, that's one of their mottos. If you identify an Illuminati member, they're supposed to say crazy. They won't have a conversation with you, and they definitely won't have a conversation with you in a large public area. They'll stay away from that, because they don't want that, because they'd be embarrassed, and then things would have to get fixed. See, if I was actually in the White House, I'd fix everything. I don't care if there was a gun to my head, a gun to my chest, and a bomb strapped to my back. I'm still gonna do my job, and I can't be bought, bribed, or conned to do anything else at all. And I wrote that up in like 2013. I still have the writing. Look at all the things I posted of all my designs of thought, or the way I used to think, of my memes that I used to post. I was writing love and kindness. I was so kind and sweet. I never really got mad. If you could get me huffy and puffy, and if I did get mad, people usually silenced because they were in the wrong. That's the way it usually carried out for me. People don't usually ever try. I don't look like it. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm a lot stronger and faster than I look, and fighting is 90% mental. So I can see things that other people can't. And they knew this. And I scared a few of them, and they didn't want me in the group called the Wolf Pack. And I don't understand why. And I don't understand why, further, he said never ask why, I couldn't have a life. When I didn't want to be in front of a video camera, and I was going to make all of you famous anyways, I just wanted to make sure you're doing things right. So do you got pedophile rings going behind closed doors? Is it a cess fest that you don't want me there? What's the reason why you don't want me there? Is it the warmongering? What do you do behind closed doors that's so bad? Do we all wear masks like somebody told me? I don't care what you do on your personal time if you're not hurting anybody. Why do I care what you're doing on your personal time when that does not inflicting any type of damage on anybody else at all? Riddle me that. Why? And yes, you can copy and steal from me my words and try to write them down and use them as a script, but you'll never be genuine about it. And you can't talk freely about it. I can talk about anything at all, and if I don't understand, hold on, let me go study. I'll come back to you with my answer, or I'll just be listening in silence because you're teaching me something. I used to love to learn, and this just isn't stopping. It's not. With what they're doing to me, they're trying to gear up to try to mess with me again. I mean, when I was working in restoration, when I'd go to jobs, clients were sabotaging their own jobs to trying to make it look like I don't know what I'm doing. I have a little book on restoration written. Look at what I wrote a few years ago about restoration on LinkedIn. You know, I was the first one to say anything about cell phone weapons. They were going to come out about 4 or 5 years ago. On LinkedIn, that was the first thing that I defended the American people about this was by me 5 years ago. They were going to put bullets in cell phones. You know how bad that would be for the police officers? They'd walk up to somebody, they'd have a bullet in their cell phone, and they can just shoot them. Yeah, I stuck up right up for the police officers. I wasn't okay with that. No, I defended that quickly. I don't like that. Yeah, you can conceal weapons, but a cell phone? That would have been very bad for the authorities. They'd have been getting killed left and right if that would have been mass produced as a thing of what people usually kept in their purses or on their persons. That would have been a big problem. And I wasn't okay with that. So that's the first thing that I defended the American people about. Because I'm trying to make things better. I'm trying to clean our water. You know, there's a spot in the ocean that has so much trash that where we dump everything, toxic waste and everything, you can Google it, that we're not even cleaning. We just keep stacking and stacking and stacking it because there's a disposal fee for countries to get rid of stuff. And some things, once it's toxic, they can't get rid of it. And I said, why don't you get rid of it and shoot it off into the sun or shoot it off into outer space somewhere away from us? Shoot it toward Jupiter. Get rid of all the trash. Shoot a stream of it. Get rid of all the trash. Don't dump it in the ocean. There's plenty of space out in the world. They try to say the closest star is Centauri. Was it 4.5 light years away or something? A light year is what, 58 trillion miles or something like that? I can't remember distinctly the exact number because I've been out of my studies. That's pretty far.